So thank you.
Thank you, Sabi, and thank you, Pocket and Obed. In fact, it's been ages. I saw some of them, but I'm glad when I just sent the message to them, I think less than an hour before we commenced the discussions, and they were up to the task. They told me anytime they are ready to just support. So they just came on board. I didn't want to bring on board too many people to take up our time, so I just extended this invitation to just the three of them. However, we had a great number. We were on campus for, I think, about 5 to 6 years, and that was significant. When you look at the badge, you realize that some of them completed, others joined, and then at the point you had to dissolve it. This club was actually dissolved, not because it was ineffective, but at the point I had to travel out of the country to go and work. And unfortunately, we couldn't manage it to its, fruitless. And for that purpose, we needed to put a break to it and then continue later. Unfortunately, I came back and it's been so busy, I've not had the time to be able to come back and reestablish the club. However, in some months back, most of the past students or past members started coming back to me indicating that they really wish I could take this club back to the universities because they feel whatever progress they are having in their career now is mostly attributed to SMITHTIPS club, and they wish we could actually have this on board so others can also join and benefit as they also benefited. I thought of it. I spoke to a few partners that I wanted to bring it back if they are willing to support us, and they gave me their support. They indicated that, look, you can actually go ahead, start this again, and we'll give you the full support. So I'm here back again, just trying our best to see how best we could establish this, and that is why we called on you. So without wasting much time, I would move ahead to have a discussion on an intro of the club, what the club is all about in terms of the overview, the discussions. This club, the Professional Pathfinders Club, as the name indicates, is a club which is dedicated to guiding students in their professional journey. And we believe as students strive to make the grades needed for their successful completion of the respective courses that they are offering. It is important that they gain a better insight in making the right career decisions, which obviously is paramount, or let me say the paramount reason for being in school. And the truth is, a wrong decision can have a strong impact on your life, and if not careful, you won't be able to come out of that impact. Hence, this club is being established to provide students with a level of support in building their professional brand, as well as making the right career choices, and in the process, helping them navigate their way towards a successful and fulfilling professional future. As a club, we have a mission to empower students in their professional journey by providing valuable guidance, support, and resources. And we are dedicated to helping our members develop these essential skills, as well as make informed career choices and also seize industry opportunities. Through a range of activities, such as internships, national service opportunities, we aim to equip our members with the tools they need to excel in their chosen fields and also navigate their ways towards a successful professional future. The vision is to create a dynamic and inclusive club that serves as the ultimate platform for students seeking to navigate their way towards a successful and fulfilling professional future. What we mean by this is we are looking at striving to be the go-to resource for students in their professional journey, offering guidance, support, and valuable opportunities for skills development, career choices, and industry connections. You would realize that in the submissions from the previous members, they all indicated the level of guidance that we give to them, the connections that we give to them during the campus industry engagement programs that we organized, as well as the skills that we impacted on them, both the soft and hard skills. So the Professional Pathfinders Club aims to empower our members to make informed decisions, excel in their chosen fields, and become leaders in their respective industries. Now, as a club, what is our area of focus? I posted the specific area of focus in the club group discussions for each campus. That is for the UMAT, the KNUST, and the KNUST Kumasi and Obuasi respective campuses. When you look at your group, you should see this under the group discussion. Now, career exploration is one of the areas we'll be focusing on. We will provide comprehensive resources and guidance to help students explore various career options, understand industry trends, and also make informed decisions about their future paths. Now, you would observe that when, I think, was it Hockett? If it's not Hockett, then Obed. In his submission, he did mention that sometimes as a student offering specific programs or certain programs, you do not even know the range or endless possibilities that you might have in terms of your career options. I spoke to one social scientist some years back, and I asked her, do you think a social scientist has an opportunity with the mining industry or any mining company? And she laughed and she said, oh no, social scientists, they're young coho. And I was like, oh, why? Why do you say that? And she said she knows the mining industry is for mining engineers and engineering, graduates with engineering backgrounds. And I was like, okay, that is interesting. It means you didn't even know that you as a social scientist could actually work in a department within the mining company. Hence, if you are even to apply for roles, you would actually skip all of these opportunities that comes with the mining industry and be focusing on the ones that you think provide those opportunities or those job openings for you. But in truth, a social scientist actually has a role to play when it comes to the mining industry. These are some of the things that we'll be discussing. You realize that his example was on the graduate with a mathematics background, thinking he could actually just perform and be a teacher. Meanwhile, there are several areas that you can actually venture into, which are specifically within the core mathematical field and also the non-core mathematical areas. Some of these things will be discussed. We'll delve into most of the industry opportunities, the trends, the career options within these industries, specific roles that you can fit in with this, with your specific program of study. And then what are the opportunities that we'll be talking about? These are all things that the club will be discussing with the members. So members will gain a better understanding of the opportunities out there for them, so they have informed decisions in making the right choices. The other area of focus will be on skills development. We'll be offering workshops, seminars, and training sessions to enhance members' professional skills, including communications, leadership, and problem-solving skills, as well as critical thinking. Sometimes we tend to focus on the hard skills and we forget about these behavioral attributes or personal traits, which are important to develop as well. You realize that when you get to the corporate world, these are some of the things that actually takes you to where you need to be. It is not so much about the program of study, and Sabi said it rightly. In most areas, some of the courses that you read, you realize that most of the program of most of the specific things you are taught within the program of study will not actually be applicable when you get to the corporate world. Most of them you might not even remember, and you'll be surprised that some of the things that you actually got A in, getting 80% and all that, you might come to the field and you might not even use it at all. So the most important thing is, what are the specific skills that are needed within the corporate world? And some of them cut across all industries, irrespective of whether you are an engineer or a social scientist or even the medical field. It cuts across all industries, and the importance that you develop these skills whilst in school before you move into the corporate world. These are some of the things we'll be looking at. We'll be looking at hard skills and soft skills. And rightly said, Savi, we had a system that we developed. Myself, I'm a software developer and a mobile application developer. And we developed a mobile application and even a web-based application where our members were tasked to complete specific courses that has been hosted on these applications. And they were assigned specific assignments related to these courses. These are trainings. These are not book-long trainings, but they are specific trainings to empower them to be able to pick up certain skills and also leadership and communication skills. So I remember one of such courses was on business communication. We had trainings on Excel, etc. I don't want to bore you with these things, but yes, we will be going through specifically professional skills that are needed when you get to the corporate world, not skills that are needed for you to pass your exams, because in most cases, people just learn to pass their exams. And most of our trainings will be practical, they'll be practically based, hence you would actually gain that relevant skill and becomes part of you. Another area of focus that the club will be looking at is internships and industry connections. It is very important. When I went around on this career fair and those that I've engaged with recently, you realize that in all my discussions, I always say try as much as possible to gain the experience. It is very important that you gain relevant experience. You could have a first-class graduate who would have no experience come to the industry and fail totally. However, you could also have, someone who has not had the opportunity to actually get to first class, probably upper, lower, or even pass, and yet would come to the industry because of the exposures that he obtained whilst in school through internship and volunteering opportunities. They become exceptional. And I can speak of one who actually worked with the company that I'm with. He is an IT engineer, in fact, a programmer. He had the opportunity to be working whilst in school. In fact, he was coming to us for internships, and he developed so much skills through his internship opportunities. And you could see that it affected his performance in school. So he wasn't really at the first class or second class. However, he's one of our best performing employees because he gained relevant practical experiences and skills that made him exceptional compared to his colleagues that he joined with. And as I speak to you now, he's not even working in Ghana. He's actually, working with a corporate team outside Ghana. And that is the extent to which gaining experience can actually affect and project your career projection. In terms of industry connections, yes, it is very important. I also spoke, when I met you guys, I spoke about those having LinkedIn accounts. And I kept asking everyone, do you even communicate? Do you connect with people on LinkedIn? And the essence of asking all of this is to ensure that you are creating the right connections. Now, when in creating connections, you just don't get up and connect with anyone. Most of them would be relevant to you. You will just connect with them and they will have no impact in your life. However, making the right connections within your field of study and within the industries that you seek to enter, you realize that you are able to create a future for yourself that makes it easy and practically impossible for you to be unable to actually achieve your career dreams and visions. So we as a club will be facilitating several internship programs. We'll have partnerships with various institutions, and I tell you, we are looking at having it across board nationwide, so that when it comes to a time where we have to send people on internships, and we don't do it in a way that would actually favor you. If it happens that the opportunity we had is at a place that we think you being will actually be beneficial to you more than being at a place that is closer to your house, we'll actually send you there. And I remember our last internship program, those that came to Obuasi, we had the opportunity to actually rent a whole hotel. The whole place was booked for, I think, 2 months. And it was just occupied by our members, about 77 or about 97, if I've forgotten, of them were here. And they were scattered through several companies that they've been paired with or attached to have their internships. And some of them even got national service opportunities through that. They actually ended up having their national service with the companies that they were attached to for these internships. So these are some of the things that we'll be looking at. I've just hit on national service, so I'll just move on to the national service opportunities. Now, when you look at the national service program itself, it is actually designed as a national program. However, it helps you to acquire a relevant 1-year experience. And it's very, very important. I'm emphasizing on the fact that you are acquiring 1-year relevant experience because you realize that the system of education that we have in this part of the world or on the continent we find ourselves makes it practically impossible for students to be able to actually gain practical exposures and experience whilst in school. And it is believed generally that when a graduate completes the university, it takes them between 2 to 3 years to be able to actually fit into the specific roles that they are designed to fit into. However, because they do not have these roles, most often when they complete their national service, they go home and then they sit home because most of the jobs that are being advertised will be seeking for 2 to 3 years experience for new entries. And it is a fact because most organizations would want you to come on board with some level of experience. However, because of this challenge, other institutions I've actually introduced a graduate training program to prepare students, fresh graduates, after their national service with some additional years of experience within their field of study or profession or specialization, just to ensure that they gain these relevant experiences and become fit and capable to operate within the specific roles that they find themselves in, which is actually very good. So as a club, we will be looking at guiding you, assisting you in identifying and pursuing national service opportunities that would align with your career goals, allowing you to contribute to the society while also gaining valuable skills and experiences. And it's important that we embark on this journey, because people actually complete the university with very good grades, with very good programs, but end up spending 1 year of their time doing irrelevant jobs which had no experience or related experience to their field of study. Yes, it is good because obviously you would learn something. I wouldn't say you wouldn't learn anything. You will learn something, but in terms of its relevance to your field of study, it will be practically irrelevant. And in the sense, it makes you securing your next job after national service within your field of specialization very difficult, which has gone a long way to affect so many people. We have people coming out of school with mechanical engineering, metallurgical engineering, being sent to remote places to become teachers. And you ask yourself, I'm a metallurgical engineer, you make me a class 4 teacher. What impact am I really going to have there? Do I even have the technical skills to be able to be a teacher? However, the program sends me and I have no choice, but because I have to do it, I go ahead and do it. Now, this is 1 year wasted. You come out of school, out of the program, you start looking for a job, and you do not secure any job, not because you're not good, but because you never got the opportunity to move into the right space. So as a club, we will be guiding our members on the specific industries, specific areas or companies to even look at. First of all, having their national service and in which specific departments or specific sections. And this, we believe, would give them a foresight into, what they really need to be working towards. And when I say we, I'm talking about everyone, including the members themselves, because we'll be having several departments as a club. Now, this club is not going to be running just like your normal campus clubs. This is actually called a professional club because it will be managed just like any company, where we'll have the members as employees, and we'll have sections which in some clubs, they call them committees. We'll be calling them departments. And these departments will actually come on board with employees who will be members of the various sections, or let me say departments. They'll be performing specific tasks and they'll be assigned key indicators, performance key indicators, which is the KPIs. So the key performance indicators will be used to measure their performance and meeting their targets. And just like Sabi said, we realized that members of the club were not sitting down. They were assigned tasks to go and perform. Those that did not have the courage were encouraged, they were pushed, and out of it, they became bolder. They improved on their public speaking, they improved on their engagement with people that they seem and classified as too big to approach. They were able to now approach all of these people. And that is how some of the skills, inbuilt skills that we try to explore and bring out of members within the club. So we'll be looking at this national service program as a whole major task, which will be handled by a group within the team. And they will be trained professionally to be able to embark on areas, do proper research, and be able to come out with specific areas of interest for everyone. Now, in terms of the professional development, we will organize events. One of such events that we organized actually was the campus industry engagement program. It was a big one. We brought heads, we brought senior managers, directors from the various industries. And I'm speaking about several industries, the medical, the health industry, the mining industry, the construction industry, etc. We brought people from all over, people coming from every part of the country, straight to KNUST, had engagement with the students. It was a guest speaker session where people actually spoke about, the relevance of the industries and even how to get into the industry, what they expect from students and how, specific fields they need to move into. We believe this will provide insights into various industries, current job market trends, and strategies for career advancement for our members. So it's an area that we look at pushing, and an area that we consider critical to the area of focuses that we'll be working around as a club. So basically, these are some of the areas that, I mean, we'll be looking at. In terms of some of the skills that we will be working on, I cannot list all of them. However, I have a few that I've listed, I think this and that. We will do more than this. However, these are some of the areas that we'll talk about. And I remember when we were coming to, in the previous club, the SMITHTIPS club, we had this main course, business communication, and people actually thought it was going to just be about communication, but it's so broad. It talks about writing skills. It talks about your email skills. I mean, all of that comes to play. And this is going to be something that we are going to implement once again. We'll look at advanced diploma in occupational health and safety. Now there is an institution who is a partner. Actually, this course itself is charged, I think 6,500 for non-students. I think 1,500 or so for students. And I think if I'm getting it right. However, we are creating partnerships with these institutions. All of the institutions that will be running these programs will be charging, but we will look at how best we could subsidize it to the minimal cost for students to be able to afford. In most cases, it will even be free for students, because obviously if we get sponsorships, we'll be able to use the funds from these sponsorships to support in paying for the members to participate. There comes the question, why did we need 1,000 members to be able to establish the club? Because in the previous club, we were not that many. I mean, we will not get up to 1,000. Hence, running certain programs was so expensive. There were instances where the club dues, I mean, was not enough to even pay for some of the programs. And personally, I had to cough out, I mean, huge sums to be able to support in all of that. And there were certain programs that I had wished we could actually run it. But because we didn't have the funds, we couldn't even implement it for students to benefit from them. But I believe if we have the numbers, then the little that everyone brings on board as a deal or whatever, we'll be able to combine this to pay for significant courses that I'm telling you, if you finish school and you have to pay for, you wouldn't be able to pay. You realize that some of them, you get them for free, and you come out and you're told that you actually pay this amount to get this certificate, and you actually got the certificate for free, or got this particular skill or training for free. So these are some of the areas we'll be looking at. Microsoft Excel training, that is key to me. I mean, everyone I speak to always mention Microsoft Excel training because it is relevant. It goes beyond analytics. It goes beyond graphical representation of data. It actually has a programming aspect, the visual basics for application. I mean, being able to use it for so many things. We even look at Access. I didn't write Access yet, but Microsoft Access for database management and all that. We'll be looking at MyMSQL. I mean, all of them. Project management is very key. Project management is very, very key. This is something that people pay so much. We pay so much, even as an organization where I work, we pay in dollars so much to just get our employees to be able to obtain project management, I mean, skills and even the certification. This is something that we are looking at making our members get within the club before they complete school. Also, presentation skills, super. In most organizations, sometimes even right from your national service, you'll be presenting to your managers and I mean employees and all that. It is important that you develop these skills right from school. And I know for most of the institutions, you actually be doing your defense. And for that reason, it means you actually be presenting. If you have these skills, I mean, developed enough, you realize that from your final year, right, throughout your career, you become so good and it becomes easy for you to stay. Okay. Now, these are some of the software programs that we are looking at in terms of software trainings that we'll be running. We are looking at AutoCAD, MindSight, Global Mapper, etc. We'll be doing more than this, but these are some of the few ones I could actually speak about. Okay. And then we also have a few professional partners that will be helping us with the training of some of these programs. We have the Imperial College of Mines and Safety, and this is an accredited occupational health and safety training institution, which will be responsible for training and awarding our members an advanced diploma in occupational health and safety. And this is very critical because mostly for our engineers who will be working in this mining, construction, oil and gas, industries, the risk in getting the work done, it is so high that when you come to on board with a specific training in safety, it actually opens an optional career door for you and makes it easy for you to be able to actually gain that or secure that job that you're looking for. It is important that we as members will recognize that Safety, it is not just for the job that we are going to look for, but for our well-being, those that we are with, the future colleagues that we'll be having, and even the organization itself. Because in some organizations, when there's a fatality or someone gets injured, then what it means is operations stop. And when there is no business, then obviously there is no work for you. So we will be taking people through safety trainings. But the most relevant one, which the members who will be participating in this particular training will be awarded with an accredited certificate, is the Advanced Diploma in Occupational Health and Safety. Also, we have the Center for Human Excellence, who will be responsible for training our members in training programs on leadership and supervision, management and continuous improvements, etc. They will be handling all of these trainings for us. And these are people that institutions that we've actually obtained partnerships with. They've agreed to be with us and support us in this program. So hopefully members that will be joining us would have the opportunity to participate in some of the leadership and supervision, as well as management and continuous improvements programs that we'll be bringing on board. So basically, this is what the club is going to be all about. One other aspect that I would want you to have a view of is the plan for the club itself. Now, in spite of all of these trainings that we'll be running, we are looking at having one major event each semester for each campus. And then at the end of the second semester, we'll be having a boot camp for specific trainings based on the specific programs of studies, or let me say, based on the specific professions within our membership. So that it means if we are going out, we are going to go on a vacation for like 2 weeks or 1 week, somewhere not on campus, but then somewhere, it could even be in Adan, where you have maybe a place like Aqua Safari, where members will all come together. Then we'll have the facilitators joining us at these places. We'll book the hotels, they sleep, and then the facilitators will just come around and have the boot camps with the various members. We'll be grouped into sections, and then the sessions will be run for these sections, these members. And once they are done, at the end, we all go back. The essence is ensuring that we gain a practical feel as well as the bond. It is important that we recognize that if you're in the first year and someone is exiting in the final year, there is a high possibility that you might go and this person that was a student whilst you were there is actually a manager in a position of influence that will be able to actually help you. So it is important that as club members, we see ourselves as a family. We come together. Individually, we will be having our trainings on our various programs, our various campuses. That is why we are calling it chapter. We have the UMass chapter, the K University Obasi chapter, and then the K University Kumasi chapter. However, at the end of each VAC, we are looking at having a boot camp where everyone will come together, and then we'll run this program successfully. And I believe at the end, if you come out of this program or this club after school and you're unable to secure a job, or even if you secure a job and you're unable to make an impact at the workplace, then obviously it means you are not part of us, because I doubt you will go through this club and not become effective at your workplace. So this is all about the club. At the end, I'll give you the opportunity to ask questions if you have any, and then probably we'll take it from there. Now let's talk about how to register as a member. Now I mentioned that you realize that all of these things that we've spoken about involves money. And I mentioned that in the previous club, it is a club that we had limited numbers. We couldn't get up to 1,000. As I speak to you now on the group pages, for KNUST Kumasi alone, we have over 700 members. For the other campuses, I think we have, if you combine, we should have in excess of 1,000, obviously, excess of 1,000. And that is why it is important that we are able to get the numbers. If we're able to get the numbers, it becomes easy. Instead of going to pay 2,000 or 5,000 for a program, probably be paying just 20 cedis or 50 cedis because of the numbers. It is not because, and it's not magic. It is only because we'll be able to pay for the facilitator to come and run the program. Sometimes it will be so free that you wouldn't have to even cop out anything. But the basic thing is we need to be able to establish the club with some level of commitment in terms of financial commitment. So the registration to be part of this club for this year, before we start the program, is 100 cedis, but at the end of the program, at the end of the establishment of the club, would obviously go up more than 100 cedis. And the essence is we want to make sure that those that join us initially from the onset are having these discounts to be able to be part of this club. whoever comes to join later is also going to support us financially to be able to achieve the aims and objectives of this club. And for that reason, they might pay more than what the initial group will be paying. But then what we are going to start with is 100 cedis for each member. If you are interested in the club, just make sure you take the opportunity to send me a message. I'll post, I'm just trying to get that on the PowerPoint. Send me a message through the number that I'll be indicating on the PowerPoint. Let me know that you're interested. We'll create a separate group from the group that we created for interested parties. Now, this group that we are going to create are those that we're going to start a club with. And they will be given certain, documents as well as specific benefits that comes with their registration. And we are going to make sure that everybody that registers gets a membership club card, because our programs, those that are on the call, would attest to the fact that we had a membership club where when we are running programs and it's free for members, it becomes a paid program for non-members. And where there is a strong subsidy for members, it becomes a huge cost for non-members. So we'll be creating all of these clubs and this club membership card. So it is important that once you join, you just have to indicate your full name so that we'll be able to do all of this for you before you even come to campus. The next things to talk about is the registration of the club at the various universities. In terms of the draft of the club constitution, that is done already. We will be moving into the phase where we'll be registering the club at the various universities. If you are on any of the campuses, that's the UMAT, Takwa, Kia University Kumasi, Kia University Obuasi, and you would want to help with any of the next processes, please send me a message on WhatsApp. Just indicate that you would want to be of help. You want to actually contribute at these initial stages where we need people to help with their club registration in terms of going to the right people to get the registrations done, payments of the registration fees, those that want to, obviously I can't be everywhere. So if I have students who are willing to come on board to support them, that would be great. The commencement date for the club is January 2024, exactly when you return from school. And we are starting from day one, the very day you come back to school. Before you get to school, those that have been registered, we will communicate, we'll send the entire schedule for the semester with them, with respective programs that will be organized, skills trainings that will be organized, campus invest and guest speakers programs that will be organized. And then we'll also form committees from those that have registered. We'll have leadership, we'll have the interim selection of club executives from the members that have registered. Also, we'll be forming the departmental, club sections for the club before we even commence. So once we commence, we have the departments already. All we need to do is the appointments of the departmental heads. So basically, these are the next steps for us. Like I said, the constitution for the club has already been drafted. All that is needed is specific executives that have to be appointed in the registration of the club at the various campuses. So as indicated, the registration fee is 100 Ghana cedis, and then all interested parties who still want to remain with the club, it is not mandatory, it is not by force. If you're interested and you think it's relevant, it's something you want to participate in, please contact me through this number, and then I'll show you the next process in terms of how to get yourself registered for this. Thank you very much. This brings us to the end of the session. I will give you the opportunity to ask questions, if any, before I end the session. If there's a question, you can just raise your hand and then start. Gideon, is it possible to unmute everyone for me? I'm guessing probably.
Yeah, they can.
Some people have
cannot. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. I can see, I think 2 people have their hands up. Let me just check. Okay, Stephen, I'm more entry. Is it possible? Can you please go ahead?
No, okay. Please, with your presentation, you did mention that you'll be organizing seminars and then other programs for the club members. But in the case that most of the students here are in final year and then they'll be leaving school soon, let's say this coming August. So how would this, how we would be able to getting access to these seminars, or would they be hosted online for us to participate?
All right, thank you very much. I think in my earlier communication to all students, I did mention that this was actually a club that was targeting pre-engineering and then first to third year students. And the essence is because I knew the final years would be graduating by August. However, I also had a statement that stated that if you are in your final year and you still have interest in joining the club, obviously we will not be meeting every day. And obviously, if you're having programs, it wouldn't be on a weekday, it will be on weekends, which means if you're even working, most companies will have their off days on the weekends. So if you still register to be a member, then it means you still have the opportunity to join us, irrespective of the campuses that you want to join. And obviously, if you register with UMass, then you'll be coming for UMass programs. But the same programs will be running throughout, except the boot camps, where we would actually have a combined class, where we will also be on a vacation somewhere else. So it's open for all. Yes, in your final year, you'll be leaving by August. However, when we are having programs, the programs will be held online and face-to-face. For guest speakers and events and engagement programs, it is important that the members meet these professionals and also be able to create the contacts, network with these professionals. So it'll be very difficult for us to have an online session where, it means they will not be able to achieve the aim for that program. However, some of the training programs will actually be held online where people from all over could join, but also it will be restricted to only members. I'll be developing a new website before we even commence the process. And this website will actually be used, instead of Zoom, we'll be using that for our sessions and all that. If I answered your question, then that is fine. George, I can see your hand up if you want to take it now.
Okay, please, I wanted to know when we're supposed to pay the registration fee, like when is the deadline? And also to dream executives. So I wanted to know
the second question, can you take it again? I think you muted yourself. George, can you take the second question again?
Well, I was asking, like, you said they are going to be interim executives.
Yeah.
So I wanted to know on what basis are they going to be selected?
So remember, the word interim means that it is not permanent. We need them to hold the fort until we make the right selection. And obviously, I don't know any of you. I don't think I'll be able to have a specific selection criteria. However, those that have registered who would come on board, identify themselves as people who would want to be in such positions are people that we'll consider. Obviously, we're not going to just select anyone because in the first place, you should bear in mind the president of the club cannot be a student because we want to be able to run it effectively. And for that reason, it cannot be a student. However, the vice, the secretary, and the remaining, executive roles will be given out to students. So we'll look at the strengths. We'll actually do interviews. We'll identify the specific areas of strengths and see how best we could utilize them in these executive areas. But with respect to the payment of the dues, I did mention that right after the meeting, if you're interested, just contact me on the number on the screen. You can see I've indicated my number. Send me a WhatsApp message. Let me know you're interested. We'll create a separate group. Once you pay, it will be booked. We'll give you a receipt to confirm that you've paid. And then your name and details will be captured on our records, and we'll start gathering the list. The moment you pay, we'll put you on the registered members group where discussions on further activities to be performed would also be discussed on the same page. All right, Mohammed, your hand is up. I think Bello, Mohammed.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Ben, for the wonderful presentation and such an opportunity. My question is pertaining to the final years. As you said, if we are interested, we could still join the club. However, we might not be able to, keep up with some of the activities, like perhaps the boot camps and maybe some of the offline seminars we're having. So, with that said, I wanted to ask if, with the registration fee, is it going to be subsidized for those that are in final years, or it still remains the same because we'll still be benefiting the package that every normal member will be benefiting? I just wanted to.
Okay, thank you, Bello. It is a good question, though. However, it will be the same because obviously you would participate in almost all the programs because, like I said, for the technical training programs, yes, most of them will be online. Apart from that, when you look at the face-to-face programs that we'll be having, they will be on weekends, days that you can actually join. And with me working in the mining industry, which I know most of you coming from the engineering background would actually end up in, most of you would actually be working in roles that will have your weekends as your off days. However, if Sabi and Obed are still online, they would attest to the fact that before we come up with a program, even though we come up with the initial schedule, we also ensure that it suits a greater number of the members, to the extent that when we have the program, then it means that we know that more than 3/4 of their membership will be able to attend based on their availability. So yes, if you're on it, I mean, obviously we'll take also those who are not students, but are members of the club. We'll take all of their schedules into consideration and see how best we could fit in to make sure that they also get opportunity to participate. But you wouldn't be left out. I don't want you to think you'll be left out. These programs will also be recorded, and they are recorded and shared through, restricted access platforms for only members. So the members will be the only people to access them. And so far as you're a member, you have a membership number, you will be able to access all of this. And these are knowledge-based programs. So programs that you don't go and eat item 13, just item 13, but programs that obviously there'll be item 13, but the programs that will be recorded are good for you even for the future consumption. Mohammed.
Yes, I get it. And then one more thing. When is the end of payments for the registration?
The club
deadline?
There is no deadline. However, once it is registered, the registration fee changes. That is the point I made. There is no deadline. It means even once the club has been established, people can still join. Just that those that are joining before it is established, before we commence the first session, it means they are going to pay the initial rate. However, subsequent, interested members would have to pay at a different rate, which we believe it also makes sense, because obviously if they are joining on first come service, then obviously it makes sense that we make you pay at a lower rate than those that will be joining later. I hope your question is answered, Mohammed. All right, thank you. Abina, I can see your hand up.
Hello.
Abina,
Hello.
please go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to know about the project management as a skills. I wanted to know more about it.
I don't think you should worry yourself so much. You actually get to know so much when we start. Actually, project management, if the name actually implies, it is a skill that you need if you're going to manage any project. And you being an employee of an organization, you'll be working on several projects. There are specific projects that are project-based, and there are specific tasks that will be project-based, in the sense that you will be working based on your role. You might actually be in the office and you still have a project to perform. And we're working on specific project. I mean, whether small or big, you still need a skill to be able to execute it successfully. So these are some of the skills we'll be impacting members with as club members. But don't worry about it. You'll get to know more about these things once, we commence the process, okay? Is it Korika? How you can please ask your question.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ben. And we are grateful for this opportunity. My question is, after the registration, is there dues that you have to be paying, and based on is it monthly, yearly, or something like that? And also, let's say you have a friend in a different school, let's say UPSA, and you would like the person to also benefit from such a great initiative. Will it be permissible to let the person also pay and be part? Yeah.
All right, thank you, Korika. With regards to the dues, I intentionally remained silent on it because I wanted to ensure that before we discuss or agree on the amounts to be paid per dues, we have the membership, because the dues would also be a supporting, financial support to whatever we gather as a club to be able to run the club itself. The reason why I'm saying this is because the larger the number, the lower the cost. So if we have a membership that is huge, we can even pay dues as low as 10 cedis a month. If the membership is low, then it means sometimes you can even pay dues as high as 50 cedis a month or 100 cedis a month. But I know, like I'm saying, we have a significant number now. If I'm to use the numbers now, if you're going to pay any dues, it will be maximum 20 cedis a month. But that is what I'm saying. If the numbers are huge, we have huge numbers, then obviously the dues becomes less for every member to pay. So I would rather encourage you that you speak to a lot more people to join. KNUST has done significant progress. They have a significant progress. They've met the minimum 500 numbers that we wanted to have before we even have this section. They actually have 837 participants already. And when you look at other members, we are having people with, 300 and that around 300 thereabout for the other two campuses. But I would encourage all of you to do well. Just speak to your friends. I try to say, don't push anyone to actually make this decision because it's for their own personal good. If they do not see the relevance of investing in their professional development, you don't need to really push them. You can only speak to them. So please do speak to people, give them the opportunity to also participate in this great transformative program. And let's see how best we could all get the numbers so we wouldn't have to be coughing out so much to be able to run the club. And we had to cough out so much, especially myself, for those that were in the SMITHTIPS club because we didn't really open it up to so many people. But learning from this mistake, I've realized that if we had the numbers, we could have a very good program because even when you're having a program at Great Hall, and thousands means you can actually host people and still have a very good program. So, with respect to the dues, that is it. With respect to another a student from another campus joining the club, with respect to a student coming from another campus to join the club, we will be extending all of the club to almost all the campuses, the university campuses in Ghana. However, we are starting with these 3 for now. If the person is comfortable, if the person is comfortable to actually participate in the online programs and when available, join the campus for the face-to-face programs, and that is fine. I have no problem. They can register. However, where there are, we register the club on their campus, it will be great for the person to rather move from the another campus to their respective campuses. But we are hoping that we want to use the first semester to see the pressure that we'll be dealing with, and then also correct, because sometimes when you start some of these things, especially dealing with huge numbers, it is a little complex to manage. And that is why I don't want to leave it in the hands of students to manage. We'll be having leadership from the corporate world that will be managing and also supporting us in terms of sponsorships and all that. And they'll all be part of the management of the club. Once we've been able to manage it properly and we know how best to correct such mistakes, we will then go ahead and as well make sure that we've established it at the other campuses using, the same principles that were employed on these 3 campuses. So I believe this answers your question. Okay, Danwell.
Okay, thank you, sir, for this opportunity. I had a link from a friend.
All right.
I've been grateful. But my question is, for the camp booting, would there be any amount for us to pay if we were to go for those camps?
Obviously, but like I said, based on what we have, we'll be able to subsidize most of these costs. And the sponsorship that will come in, we'll have a sponsorship department. In other clubs, they call it committee. We'll have a sponsorship department that will be supporting us with obtaining sponsorships from various institutions. All of these will come to play to reduce the impact of financial pressure burden on the club itself. So once we have this support, obviously it could even be free, but I don't want to say free until we get there. So yes, even for some of the programs, they will come at a cost, but at a subsidized cost. Some of them will come for free. In fact, most of them will come for free, but there are programs, like I'm saying, some of them costing 6,500. Obviously, you can get it at a cost, let's say 100 cedis or between 100 to 500 cedis, but it does not mean that they're going to pay the 6,500. Project management, for instance, we're paying in dollars, huge sums, $1,000 and all that. That is over 10,000 and all that. But you're not going to pay that as a student. If anything, you'll not pay anything even beyond 500 or anything. Based on the financial, strength of the club, which we'll be able to, gather from our sponsorship, the dues, and even the registrations that will be coming on board. we will be able to subsidize most of these trainings. And it's the same thing we did for the previous club, and it was effective. No one was paying huge sums. I don't remember anyone paying anything, even around 1,000 or 500 even. But I don't want to raise hopes so high. Yes, you'll pay, but it will be something that will be subsidized by several channels that will be generating income from. I hope you've been answered.
Please, yes.
All right. Gaddafi, you also have a question. Hello? Abdul Gaddafi. Hey, is it Gaffa? Sorry. Abdul Gaffa. Please unmute yourself before you ask the question. All right. I can't see any hands. Hello?
Hello.
If you have a question, please go ahead. All right. Okay, please go ahead, Abdul. I can see you've unmuted yourself now. Hello? All right, I can't see any hands raised now, so I would bring the session to an end. I want to thank you all for making the time up to this time. I said 30 minutes, we've extended it to over 1 hour. So I want to let you know that I'm really grateful for your time. It is Sunday. Tomorrow, you guys have classes. You've made time for this. You're preparing for your exams. You've still made time for this. So I'm grateful and I thank you for this. Please take this news to your friends. Let them understand that something like this is coming to the campus next semester. The pending tax, if you're interested, please give me a shout on WhatsApp. Let me know that you're interested. You would want to participate in this remaining task that you're supposed to perform. And I would have a discussion with you on it. Also, those that are interested in registering for the club, please follow the process. Just contact me through WhatsApp. If you call, I may not pick because I normally receive a lot of calls. So just send a number and send a message through WhatsApp. Let me know that you're interested in joining the club as a registered member, not just interested in being a member, but as a registered member. I'll take you through the process and then also get your details recorded. Thank you. Have a nice evening and we'll keep in touch. Bye for now.
Bye. And thank you.
Bye.
Bye.